This video is brought to you by
Cool Grain Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. Come on down, shop with us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you can't come and shop with us in person, go online right now at coolgrainclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way, and that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Let's get right into the story. 16 is a great age. As a teenager, it's really when you gain your right to passage. When people stop looking at you as just a kid, now you are a young adult. For a lot of teens, that's around about their sophomore or junior year in high school. So they have probably went through most of their growing pains with their parents, and now they loosen the grip a little bit more, extending their trust and freedom. In most states, that's when you can get your driver's license and start riding alone. And most of us that's now adults, we know that's the calm before the storm. The last few years before you enter the real world. So for us that have teens, if you like me, you tell them every day to enjoy it and don't rush to be grown. Take it all in. Of course, being a young woman, sweet 16 is definitely a milestone. That's when their social life is usually the highest. And we all know girls mature faster than boys. So for most teen girls, they are already making plans for after school and their future. With young people though, comes dating and friends of the opposite gender. Some still probably remember their first little puppy love or crush at that point in life. In our minds, this is real and forever, not knowing life has just begun. Something I know I struggle with is sitting my 16-year-old daughter down, getting in her business, and putting her up on game about boys. Because we have to be real. That's when most young adults feel like they are ready to get into something serious, or their focus will shift, and instead of talking and going out with their homegirls, they want to go on dates and FaceTime with little boys. And unfortunately, we all know everybody was raised different. And even at that young age, everyone doesn't have your best interest at heart. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be taking it all the way back to 2013 to discuss the tragic story of Diamond Williams, a 16-year-old girl who left home after a phone call and never returned. Back in 2013, Diamond Williams was a 16-year-old young lady navigating life in Baltimore. She was described as friendly, bubbly, and even at that young age, very respectful and a nurturer by nature, looking out for her little brother and cousins. The high school student who attended Mervo was excited about her future and making plans. She was a cheerleader in a nursing program and often would mentor other students, whether younger than her or the ones in the school that had special needs, helping them with plays and things that was going on. She one day had dreams of being on the big stage herself and performing. All her teachers loved the young lady, and she spoke to everyone as soon as she walked up the hallway with a big smile on her face. Her outside life was also stable and healthy. She lived with her mother and little brother on Wabash Avenue in West Baltimore. It was on a quiet, nice homeowner's block. And even though her parents were separated, her father only lived a few blocks away and would often visit or call to check up on Diamond. Her and her mother were super close. As she watched her baby girl grow into a young woman, she was proud. Diamond was said to be a nice girl who didn't have enemies or wasn't mean to people, leaving her to have a whole lot of friends, including a 19-year-old young man who she attended middle school with named Shaquille Anthony. His friends called the young man Shaq. Shaq and Diamond were cool, but over the years, the young man had developed romantic feelings for the young lady. According to family and friends, she kept him in a friend zone, but he would often try his hand at dating her. Thinking it was harmless and puppy love, her mother thought nothing about it until she started noticing the way Shaq would sit around the neighborhood and watch her daughter. As she got off the school bus, as she was walking, even when they was just hanging in the front yard. But she brushed it off, and Diamond and Shaq would still communicate. By summer of 2013, he would often call and text the young lady, putting it out there like, yo, I want you to be my girl. But she respectfully declined and said, we are just fine and doing good as friends. I'm focused on my future. On a summer evening in July, Diamond was outside chilling on her front porch with her 13-year-old little brother. They were laughing and geeking when she received a phone call from Shaq. As they talked, her mood quickly shifted and she got irritated. She hung up and told her little brother she would be back. She was going to walk down the street. Her brother begged her not to go as he felt something wasn't right about the situation. Plus their mother wasn't home yet, but the young lady left anyway. Hours would go by as her mother, grandmother, and father started to get worried. Her brother told them she got a call and said she would be back. He stated, I told her not to go, but she didn't listen. They called and texted her phone multiple times. Finally, they got a response, but it didn't sound like Diamond. She responded saying, okay, grandma, I will be home soon. And what she called her Nana and not grandma. The family feeling like something wasn't right, her father in a panic decided to call BPD and report his daughter was missing. But they took it as another teen who just stayed out too late. They brushed it off and told him there was nothing they could do about it just yet. But he decided to do his own investigation. Him and his homeboy left the house and walked the area for hours, searching for Diamond. The men finally hit Liberty Heights Avenue, not too far from her mother's house, when her father got by a hair salon and noticed drops of blood. He followed the drops and it led him to the back of the salon. He looked over by the steps and found Diamond laying there with a slash to her neck. He called BPD, who responded to the location and rushed the young lady to a local hospital. But unfortunately, just 20 minutes later, she would pass away from her injuries. Her family quickly told them she was going to meet up with a male friend. As police put Shaq's name in the database, they realized his address was in Northeast Baltimore. And when they got a call, somebody was shot in the 800 block of Turnbridge Road. It was a park the young man often visited. Police had received multiple calls telling them a man had walked on the basketball court, telling everybody to leave unless they wanted to witness him end it all. Some associates of the man started to tell police it was Shaq. And when they arrived to the scene, they found the young man suffering from a single gunshot wound. He was pronounced gone at the scene. As Diamond's family got the news, they were even more hurt and confused that Shaq wouldn't be facing justice. And they didn't understand why he would do that to her, as she was nothing but nice to the young man. And she considered him her friend. A memorial was held for Diamond, with hundreds of people showing up, telling stories about the young lady, remembering her being bright-eyed, bubbly, and she was always smiling. Mother would later state she felt Shaq did that because Diamond wouldn't accept his advances, as he wanted to be more than just friends. But I'm not sure if that information was confirmed or not. Either way, rest in peace to Diamond and Shaq. I send my prayers and condolences to both of their families. I couldn't imagine how her father felt to find his daughter like that. And of course, Shaq was dead wrong for what he did, no doubt about it. But as parents, how do you talk to your kids, young men and women, about dating, feelings, being intimate, rejection? Speaking for myself, maybe because I'm a man, I talk to my daughters about boys on the surface, but I find it hard to really go deep. I don't want them to be green and naive, but I also don't want to terrify them because everybody is not the same. But stories like this remind me though, even teens we look at as harmless can be a threat. And it's important to know who our kids are interacting with, talking to, making plans with, especially now with new technology. Diamond's case happened all the way back in 2013. They didn't even have the apps and access these kids have now. But I want to know y'all thoughts on this situation. Let me know in the comments. And for my parents, how do we avoid situations like this? Is it even possible? I'm sure it was signs, but we don't think a classmate or friend will take our child from us. Let me know, how do you deal with putting your kids up on game when it comes to dealing with the opposite gender? Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace, that young lady. I definitely send my prayers to her family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.